There's no such thing righteous Christian. They're all wicked because they're all idol worshippers. They may be nice people, merciful, polite, good heart, whatever you say, no contradiction. But the fact that they worship someone else than God, they are all wicked. Same thing Jews. Some Jews worship the rabbi. They're also wicked, just as bad. Once you worship someone that is not Hashem, you're wicked. That's the rules. Whether you have a nice heart, whether you don't have a nice heart, whether you're generous, whether you're stingy, whether you're angry, whether you are relaxed, doesn't matter anymore. Once you worship anything or anyone but God, immediately you become the most wicked person. That's called an idol worshiper. It's death penalty for Jews and non-Jews. So therefore, all Indians who bow down to the cow, guilty with the punishment of execution. All Buddhists, same thing. All Christians, same thing. Muslim, not like that. They don't believe in different God. They believe in the same God, creator of the world. So Muslims automatically, they're not idol worshippers. Just to give you an example of a difference between two different kinds of goyim. The Rambam continue. I have a different reason why. The different reason is, I'll tell you once, 20-something years ago, I was working with a rabbi, and he was getting one of the presidents of Microsoft. Someone who was a president of Microsoft in one of the countries, started to listen to his lectures in Spanish, and became religious. And then I one time came to the rabbi's office and I saw a picture of this president with Bill Gates. I asked him, what, he knows Bill Gates? He said, what do you mean? He's one of his executives. He's in charge of a whole country, Microsoft, in that country in South America. So I told him, so maybe Bill Gates is giving billions of dollars to charity. Maybe you can talk to him and ask him that Bill Gates will give money to your yeshiva, to whatever you do. You know what he said? He said, you're not allowed to accept from idol worshippers tzedakah for Jews. Just like the Rambam here. Why? Because all the merit goes to them. And what are they going to do with that? Continue to worship their idols. That's why the Rambam says it depends if he's a righteous goy or a wicked goy. If it's a wicked goy, you cannot prevent him from giving charity. And the charity will help him. Will help him. But the question is now, what are you going to do with that? If you're going to use it for the best cause, meaning you give it to poor Jews who learn Torah, their reward could be 1,000 times more. If you give it to a poor goy that comes, he wants food, he's hungry, here you go. I have a separate fund. Chris donated. From Chris, I give to John. No problem. But if it came from a righteous goy, not a Christian, not someone who believes in JC, not a Buddhist, not one of those people, then there is no problem to take the money and use it for any cause you want. Jewish cause. That's a big thing. That's why we have a lot of goyim that listen to these lectures. They send donations. They're righteous Gentiles. They believe in one God. Many of them used to be Christian. They dumped it. Some of them wants to convert. You can see from the emails they send, they're very righteous people. No problem accepting from them, and they get a huge reward for it. They get a huge reward for that. And usually they give more money than Jews. Who knows why? They have less Yetzer Hara. The evil inclination of a Jew is greater than them, because he has an obligation to give. They don't have an obligation. That's volunteering. When you volunteer, you have less resistance from the Satan. Saying that, you should know that they did a test from all the people in the world who gives the highest amount of donations. The answer by far is the Jews. So that's a great achievement. Why? Because not only that you have a bigger resistance, which should have made you give less in compared to the other people, not only you don't give less, you give more. But don't be so happy, I'll tell you why, because most of the Jews give charity to wicked causes. They're not giving to the right places. To reform synagogue, it's a disaster. They're going to get punished for every dollar they donated. Not only they get no reward, they will get punished for every time they donated to the Reform synagogue, to the conservative, to all kinds of horrible causes. To Harvard, to some other heretic universities. Of course. If they donate to anyone that does things against God's will, you become a partner to the crimes. If you give it to someone reliable who does God's will, you become a partner to the good things. So you have to know, just like in investment, you have to invest with the right people in business, not with losers. Same thing when it comes to charity, you have to make sure you know who you give your money to, right? If you give it to a criminal or a gambler or a drug addict or an idol worshiper or a murderer, he takes your money and he commits more crimes, you actually became a partner to the crime. Give you an example. Let's say you have a poor Jew comes to you on Shabbat. Mamash, 5 minutes before Shabbat. Help me out. What? I need to take a bus to go now to the north, to upstate New York. 5 minutes before Shabbat. You're on the way. You're on the way to shul. He comes to you when you just left your house. Excuse me, I'm stuck here. Can you give me maybe $40, $30? I promise I'll send it back to you. What do you need the money for? I have to take a bus to go upstate. If you give him now $30 and he buys a ticket and he gets on a bus and he drives on Shabbat, and you knew it, you become a partner to the crime. It's called Mesayeh ledvar avera, helping an act of a sin, a crime against Hashem. So the Rambam continue. The Rambam says, a goy that fulfill one of the good deeds of the Torah, right? Not only you do not prevent him from doing it, אלא אף יקבל שכר על מעשיו. He will get rewarded for his action. Just like a Jew that fulfilled a mitzvah that is not obligated to. For instance, a woman, she was not obligated to shake the lulav. It's mitzvah of men only. But the Ashkenazi women, not only they do it, they even make bracha. Sfaradim, they don't make bracha. What's the source of the argument? Because it's written, when you make the bracha, you say, Asher kiddeshanu v'mitzvotav etzivanu al netilat lulav. The woman is actually saying a lie. Hashem did not command her to shake the lulav. Why are you saying something that is not true? How will the Ashkenazim answer to this question? They say, we don't say for us specifically. We say the entire Jewish nation, which we are a part of it. We enjoy from our husbands' benefits, from our children. So it's not really me. I didn't say that God commanded me to shake the lulav. That he commanded the nation of Israel to shake the lulav. This is, by the way, a 50-50 argument. We will only know who is right when Mashiach comes. It could be Sfaradim are right, it could be Ashkenazim are right. There are many arguments like this. But why? I give you an example. When Hashem gave the Torah to Moshe Rabbeinu, for everything in life, he gave him 49 ways to make it kosher and 49 ways to make it not kosher. And he left it in the hand of the Chachamim, of the scholars of every generation and generation to rule. Meaning, when Shammai and Hillel, Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel has an argument, how to do the mitzvah. Hillel say this way, Shammai say the opposite, like Hanukkah candle. Hillel say, what do you do? First day you do 1, and then 2, and then 3. Shammai say no, you do 8, 7, 6, 5. Why? Because how many days are left? So like the first day you have 8 days left, so you light 8. Tomorrow it will be 7. So tomorrow Hillel say no. We are counting the days that passed, not the days that are left. Either one is equally logical. He can't say he's right and he's wrong. What's the law? Bet Hillel. Why? Because Hillel is smarter than Shammai? No. Because Hillel is more humble. Who cares that he's humble? Reuven and Shimon are arguing about how much money you have in a box. Shimon say $100 and Reuven say $120. So you have to choose which one is right. I take Reuven. Why you take Reuven? Because Reuven is more humble. Right, the way the question is going to be, I don't understand. What's the connection? Two individuals are arguing how much money are in the box. You say, I'm taking his opinion. Why? Because he's more humble. The other person is not as humble. Then the question will be, but what does it have to do with how much money are in the box? Do you see any connection? Someone that is not as humble cannot be right? The answer is, if I'm gonna ask them 1,000 questions, the humble person and the not humble person, where do we have a bigger chance to get the truth? From the more humble person or from a person that is less humble? The answer, the more humble person has a bigger chance to aim to the truth. Why? Because he has more help than God. Because God loves humble people more than not humble. Not to talk about proud people. That's bichlal. So therefore, Rabotai, we see that the level of your righteousness affect the amount of help that you get from God, and also affect the amount of ability that you have to aim to the truth. That means to find the truth, it's not something that you can take for granted. It's a gift from Hashem. Do you understand? It's called Siyata Dishmaya. Help from heaven. The more Hashem likes you, the more He lets you see the truth. In two ways. One, He will get you in the right timing to the right place where the truth will be heard, and your friend will not be able to be there because Hashem doesn't like him as much as He likes you. And when you will hear the truth and your friend will also hear the truth, you will understand it and identify with that, and he won't. That's Orthodox and Reform. They both read the same verse in the Torah. One understands immediately and identified with God. The other one is exact opposite. Hashem say, cannot be gay, it's abomination and death penalty. The wicked will say, let me marry Isaac and John together. But you just read that it's abomination. What do I care? Like Santa Claus.